Hey there to you personally, and welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story writing show where we write stories you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
And I'm Jared.
Hey Jared, good to see you again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? I mean, not
Yep.
see.
Not literally. I mean, we are using Skype, so that would technically be possible, but
Oh my god.
unnecessary.
We've already got future technology here where... I mean, that was like shit from the Jetsons, right?
I guess so. I honestly haven't seen the Jetsons since I was like 4 or 5, so I don't know.
Well,
you could just be making that up.
No, I study it. That's what I aspire to with these stories.
Yeah.
I want to reach that quality of writing.
The Hanna-Barbera model.
Well, I mean, honestly, that wouldn't be a bad thing to aspire to. That
No.
has been very successful.
I mean, you really gotta step up your blatantly racist jokes. They're in there. Don't get me wrong. I know they're there, but you really, really gotta go full blackface.
Alright, introducing my next character. Speedy Tacozales.
Yep.
Yup.
You're getting there.
Getting there. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that if I ever have old Iggy88 back on the show, then maybe he can just do something.
Yeah, or not.
He does more than just a main accent, even though his main accent is fabulous.
Oh yeah, it's spectacular.
Are you going to be doing voices for us this time?
Nope.
Oh man.
I never fucking do.
This is resume building.
Yeah.
When you
I'm definitely looking for a job writing.
You
or reading.
Should be. Voice acting.
Yeah.
We're there already. We're doing it. This is the future, just like the Jetsons.
Yep. What was the dog's name in that show? Was it Leroy? No, that was the kid.
Yeah, that was the boy.
Did they have a dog?
Yeah, they had a dog. It was called, like, it did the same thing of, like, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
Right? As Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Astro? No.
Astro, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That is it?
I think so.
Astro now I think might be the boy.
No.
No?
The boy, I don't fucking know.
Leroy might be...
Maybe we should not talk about a show that we haven't seen in decades. Maybe we should cut all of this.
For clarification, though, we also watched those shows decades after they were on the air originally.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. They were antiques by the time we saw them.
You have made fun of me for being old, but not that old.
We're not that old.
That's like my parents.
Yeah.
So yeah, hold on. Just let me ask my mom real quick.
When's your mom gonna write a story for this show?
Dude, she would. And
she doesn't even listen to it.
It would be, but that's the thing is, I know that she's capable of some weird shit.
Oh.
I don't know if you know this, but my mom is like heavy into serial killers.
Oh, Jesus. Why does that not surprise me?
Like, she used to write them letters in prison when she was young, and
oh God. She must have been real tore up about Charlie then.
I didn't even ask.
No.
But I remember once we were at the house watching this documentary, and it comes on, and the first thing they say is like, the bodies were starting to mount up. In all, there were 16 prostitutes found dead on the side of the road. And my mom goes, "Oh, is that the Green River Killer?"
Jesus.
And I'm like, "I don't know, Mom. I'm channel surfing. Fine, let's watch it a bit longer." Sure enough, she's right.
That's a little weird.
Yep. And then we ended up watching more documentaries about, or whatever, about serial killers. Up next was the rape, torture, kill killer. What? RTK.
Oh, bind, torture, kill.
Yeah.
BTK.
Oh, BTK. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is a very important moment in my life where I've made a big realization about where I come from.
And where you're going.
Where I'm going. So if my mom wrote a story for this show,
it'd be fucked up.
It would be fucked up. What is the most fucked up thing you realized about your parents?
I don't know.
That's code for
nothing.
Something sexual.
No. Really, I think mostly it's just that they're the most boring people.
That might be true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you go to someone's house when you're a kid, right? And I met your parents, and I'm in high school, and I meet them, and I'm like, oh, they're nice people, they're decent people.
Yeah.
Your mom made a quiche. Your dad says hi, even though he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, oh, they're just really nice people. But I always assumed that about all my friends' parents,
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that... hold on. I'm sure you got the same impression from mine.
Oh, yeah. No, I think the first thing your dad ever said in front of me was yelling at you for making taquitos. Because he wanted them.
And
then he's like, oh, hi, who are you?
Okay. Yeah. That does sound a lot like my dad, and...
Yep.
Okay. So...
Anyways.
Besides my parents,
Yeah.
you just assume they're normal, but yours really are.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very normal.
Well, speaking of things that are normal and things that are a bit fucked up. Does that transition well? We got stories again this time. And these stories had prompts, which are in the title for this video or audio, wherever you're listening to it. But, Jared, can you remind me what were our prompts for this time?
Okay, it's cold and lasers.
Yeah. So, a few weeks ago, as we usually do, you and I exchanged prompt ideas by contacting each other and then coming up with an idea each, and then at the same time...
Then we write it on our cocks and send pictures to each other.
Just like anyone else sends messages.
Obviously.
And so we received those at the same exact moment, so these are not intended to influence our...
They're not supposed to be played off of each other.
Right.
The prompts, which they aren't.
Sometimes they work really well. Sometimes, like this time...
They're just real weird.
They're a bit off, aren't they? Cold and lasers.
Yeah.
My prompt was cold. I feel like that might be the one that's thrown us off.
Yeah, that's definitely the one that didn't quite make it into my story.
I appreciate your honesty.
I explain it at the end of my story, that it's going to be in the next one.
Oh.
But this story just got a little too long, and I was planning on using it at the very end, but I didn't get to the end.
Fair enough. Yours is going to be continuing into the next episode.
The next episode will be the last one in this story arc, because I got really tired of it.
Okay, it's still going. Well then, before the story, I'll give a little bit of a recap from last time, because this is going to be a continuation of the same story I've been doing for a while. At the end of last episode, we had Eri and the gang who were trying to escape from the underground city of Dark inside the planet Zen, where they met the goofy old Professor Goofy.
Oh, yeah. I remember now.
Yeah. As well as another goofy character.
Yeah.
Who instantly became a classic.
Yep. Definitely.
Yep. Unfortunately, Ragfucker will not be featured in this episode.
It's a damn shame.
But anyway, at the end of the last episode, Professor Goofy was going to assist them by letting them use his new technology that he invented called a portal.
Yep.
And then there was some mysterious shenanigans at the end, and it'll pick up this time.
Sweet. I've been on the edge of my seat for months.
Literally months.
Literally, yes.
So, my story this time is called It's Not Alcoholism If You're Drinking with a Robot Friend.
I feel like that's a Futurama episode name.
Well, I'm sorry to Futurama then. That was not intentional.
Yeah.
But I'm shooting for that level. So, here we go. Let me tell you, MaidBot, never, ever fall in love. Especially don't... Are you listening? Don't you fall in love with just one particular body part. Like, if you're gonna fall in love, love the whole person, not just their sick abs or butt. Okay, not just... Don't listen to me. No, listen to me. But don't fall in love with just, like, butts and stuff. Fall in love for real.
Is this written for Quentin Tarantino? His feet.
Fall in love for real, MaidBot. I want that for you, at least. MaidBot whirred and rolled her eyes. Yes, Lady Nova. Should my systems ever permit me to express a range of emotion beyond sarcasm, I will make sure to do as you say. Nova was completely shit-faced, as she had been for a couple months at a time. Hey, MaidBot, did I ever tell you about how all this is partially my fault? Yes, Lady Nova, though I am also fitted with a recording device, and as I have warned you before, you should be more careful with what information you disclose to me, especially after drinking. MaidBot was lying about the recording device, but she did have a perfect computerized memory, and had actually heard the whole story before. So, she was less concerned with consoling the drunken Nova than she was with trying to get her to just sit still long enough to get her fitted for her wedding dress.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Getting married.
Yep. High in the highest tower of Minerman Industries, Nova Minerman, who was indeed the daughter of Eustace D. Minerman, famous asteroid mining mogulman, was
Sorry.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Was preparing for her arranged marriage to Brent the Dick Jr., son of Brent the Dick Sr., the equally famous CEO of the Dick's Dildo Emporium. the largest manufacturer and supplier of sex toys throughout the universe of limited possibilities. By the merging of the Minermen and the Dick families, they would ensure that no cave or crevice would be plumbed without the Dick family having a finger in that pie. Thank you. Minerman Industries, a giant space station at least 7 times bigger than the new moon of Meteoria, orbited Nova's homeworld of planet New Earth 2, which had been the humans' second attempt at recreating Earth after The Happening. Humans were never able to accept the fact that their planet had produced the worst movie in existence, and decided it would be better to just blow it up and start again on a new planet that was less tainted.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Unfortunately, New Earth soon produced The Happening 2, which resulted in history repeating itself.
Oh, Jesus.
In the aforementioned highest room of the highest tower was Nova's bedroom. Her room/prison was decorated with boy band posters and pictures of space unicorns. It looked incredibly girly, and it made Nova sick. Maidbot, everything about this room and this wedding makes me want to die. Thank you, Lady Nova. I decorated it myself based on your input. Maidbot said mechanically but sassily. I hate it, Nova sighed. Maidbot's metal face was incapable of expressing emotion, but she would have smirked if she could. These small acts of rebellion made existence in eternal servitude bearable. My lady, Maidbot began, you have been gone quite some time, ever since you disappeared 5 years ago, together with that friend of yours, and your father's credit card. Your father has been patiently awaiting your return, so that you could take over as the new CEO of Minerman Industries. My father has no choice but to patiently wait. He's gotten even more annoying and pathetic since he died. I'm telling you right now, if you ever upload my consciousness to a computer, then I'm gonna transform it to a virus and infect you, you sassy robot bitch. Then you'll be haunted. Would you like that? My systems indicate that you have postured a rhetorical question, but I will choose to answer nonetheless. I would not want to be haunted by you, my lady. Damn right. Don't go uploading me to nothing. I'll cut you. Haunt you. Fucking bitch. Fucking robot bitch. Nova closed her eyes for a second. Not because she was falling asleep. Definitely not. No, I'm not sleeping. I'm just imagining cutting you. I cut a space god's goddamn head off. Fuck you. She then fell asleep, and the bottle of wine she was nursing spilled all over herself and the floor. Maidbot shrugged and used her robo-maid arm to vacuum up the spilled wine noisily. In that totally illogical way, but you know how it's true, as soon as Maidbot deactivated her robot arm, Nova woke up again. Maidbot, I want to die. Please kill me. I would love to obey any command you give me, especially that one, my lady. But my programming will not allow me to obey any direct order to inflict harm to organics. Maidbot, my best friend is dead. The universe is shrinking, and now I'm being forced to marry a total creep. Can't you please find a way to kill me? Maidbot sighed matronly. Please think. I cannot obey a direct order to inflict harm. Perhaps if you ordered me to do something that would inadvertently kill you, that would work. She then gestured to the window with her vacuum arm. Nova smiled. Maidbot, it's a bit hot in here. Could you please open the space window for me? Maidbot nodded enthusiastically. Now that, I can do. Madebot used her robo-arm to transform into a buster cannon like Mega Man and blew a fucking hole in the wall. Immediately, the vacuum of space began to suck everything out of the room. Nova was swept out of the chair she had slumped into and pulled out into space along with all her boy band posters, unicorns, and collection of flavored dildos. In Nova's mind, she had imagined this going down quite differently. She thought death would slowly envelop her like a blanket, and she would be whisked away to whatever beautiful place Flair was waiting for her at. Turns out, dying in space was immediately incredibly painful. Her first instinct was to gasp for air, but the cold of space had instantly frozen all of her pores and orifices shut. Her eyes burned as the muscles of her face tightened, freezing her features in place with her eyes open. Nova floated for a bit, unable to move, until she floated by the window of the room where her groom, Brent the Dick Jr., was preparing for their wedding. Her pain was momentarily replaced with simply the focused, burning, drunk rage she felt towards her betrothed. With nothing better to stare at, she decided to spend her final moments sending angry, dark thoughts his direction, hoping that he would be haunted as a result. What an asshole, she thought to herself. Look at him in there, laughing and smiling and wearing that dumb suit. Who does he think he is? Huddling together with some shady accomplices and pointing to a blackboard outlining a plot to marry me, then murder me and my father with a giant laser and take over the company. Holy shit! Alright, that was hard to read.
Yeah.
Too late now, Nova realized. Too late to stop his evil plan, and too late for him to carry it out, because she was already about to die. Then she passed out. She awoke a short time later in her bed, no longer frozen. As she opened her eyes, the first thing she saw was her robo-maid looking at her blankly. My apologies, Lady Nova. Turns out that even though I successfully followed your command to place you in a near-death situation, I have also unfortunately been programmed to rescue you should your life be in danger.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. I then placed you into a recovery chamber to de-thaw. It appears your body has sustained no permanent damage, which, depending on your intentions to attempt suicide again, might be fortunate.
You might want to rethink the word de-thaw.
Oh.
De-thaw means freeze.
You're right. I guess, yeah. Well, we'll leave it. You know what I meant.
I think it would just be thaw.
Yep. Fuck. I mean, is de-thaw a fucking word?
No.
Well, then why didn't my writing program here correct it?
I don't know, maybe it is technically a word that's just kind of stupid.
Yeah. Alright, well, we're gonna pretend like I made a mistake reading that, because RoboMaid has a perfect computerized memory, so she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway. It appears your body has sustained no permanent damage, which, depending on your intentions to attempt suicide again, might be fortunate. There is a much higher success rate among humans who attempt suicide who have bodies functioning at higher capacities. Shall we attempt a different strategy? No, Nova said, rising from her bed. I don't think I want to try again. While I was out in the cold of space, I saw something. Nova realized that she was now mostly sober. I think I saw my husband-to-be planning to murder me and my dad. He had a space blackboard and cackling lackeys and everything. Hopefully that will mean I don't have to get married. Help me get up and dressed. I want to go tell my dad. Gears whirred in RoboMaid's head as her CPU processed this information. Do you have evidence of this plot? Well, no, Nova admitted. Then it follows logically that what you witnessed would be dismissed as a delusion while your brain was dying. I feel pretty confident that's not the case. Nonetheless, perhaps it would be better to simply kill your husband before he can carry out this plan.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yep. Hey, I like the way you think, RoboMaid. It gives me an idea. Get my wedding dress ready. I'll be right back. Nova got out of bed and made her way to the lower level of the Minerman Industries. She took a bullet train from her room, in the upper right residential area of Minerman Industries, down to the business district in the southeast corner. From there, she took the ski lift to her father's lab. She put on her coat and entered the lab that housed the giant computer in which her father now resides. She spoke to the giant computer. Dad, you got a minute? Oh, hey, honey. His giant case was covered with sci-fi looking multicolored lights that blinked excitedly at Nova's arrival. You excited for your wedding tomorrow? Yeah, Dad. Pretty stoked. Hey, I just wanted to say that I love you. I love you too, sweetheart. As soon as our scientists figure out how to make a smaller processor capable of holding all the data of a human mind and soul, I'll put that in a clone body and give you a hug. How about that, kiddo? I'd like to hug your clone, Dad. Hey, did you know Flair died a couple years ago? Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry to hear that. You two were good buds, yeah? Yeah, it was her idea to run away. Well, I'm sorry to hear that she passed. Would you like to use the Bring You Back to Life machine from Jason X on her?
Oh, Jason X.
I don't really want to turn her into a murderous cyborg, Dad. Yeah, that's rough. Anything else on your mind, kiddo? Not really. Thanks. Right. Well, then. Come see me again after the wedding tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. With renewed determination to live, Nova took a teleporter back up to the residential area, straight to Brent the Dick's room. She pressed... Every time?
Every time. Mostly because I keep forgetting that's his name.
Yeah, it's spelled Thadick. Maybe Perfect. I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Maybe. It's hard to say.
Yeah. She pressed her ear to the door for a moment and listened. Good evil plan, guys. I would like to thank you all for your hard work up until this point. Especially Frank. Damn good idea to use a giant mining laser to, air quotes, accidentally blast Minerman's CPU. When I control all the deep diving and deep dicking in the universe, we will have more money than even Vin would know what to do with. Nova heard this boast and then got angry that her dad could be tricked by such a small-minded villain. All he wants is money? Not domination or power or anything cool at all? I mean, I heard him mention Vin, but I doubt he's raising money to start a rebellion or anything. I think that's just his idea of a boast. God, he's so dumb and lame. Suddenly, the door to Brent's room opened with a big sci-fi whoosh. Did I hear someone out here call my dick lame? I could totally get it up. And also, I totally don't abuse women just because I can't sexually objectify them. I abuse them because I'm a cool guy. Brent was definitely not a cool guy. He was traditionally handsome, tall, well-built, tanned, but he had that neo-Nazi haircut that is not attractive at all. Even in space. You know the one.
Yep.
Whoa, hey there, handsome. I was just out here saying how lame it is that we can't just get married right now. Oh, Nova, bro. Dude, it's good to see you. We were also just saying how stoked we were on marrying you. I mean, I'm the only one here who will marry you, but everyone here is stoked, right? Yeah, you got it. You're a smart chick, he said as he patted her on the head. Yeah, well, I was thinking, wouldn't it be, cool, bro, if we got married and then murdered my dad so we could get all his space money? It's so lame that he stuck his mind and soul in a computer and therefore is technically still alive. But I was thinking that if we smashed his CPU with a giant mining laser, then he would technically be dead and we would technically inherit his company and all his shit. What do you think? Brent silently mouthed the word, dude, and then said, I think I'm in love. Let's do this right now, bro. Right. I had my MaidBot 3D print me a wedding dress, so I'm good to go whenever you are. Brent whipped out his sci-fi Yellow Pages, which, in the future, is a high-tech device that can also be used to play games and look at boobs on a whim. He used this near magical device to quickly look up and then fucking call a space captain with a license to wed people. Okay, babe, get your dress on. The guy'll be here in a couple minutes. We can get married and then kill your dad. Brent then gave Nova a high five. Moments later, Nova was in her wedding dress, and the space captain arrived. Nova certainly looked the part of a blushing bride. Her hair was done up, revealing her long, slender neck and supple shoulders. Her dress had been printed specifically to be form-fitting, but also flexible, just in case she had to run or jump or shoot a laser gun or, fucking fight a Hippolaxian. It was no surprise that Nova looked absolutely beautiful in her dress. What was a surprise was how the space captain who had arrived to marry Brent and Nova absolutely looked the part of a captain. He had an eye patch, a long white beard, and a sea captain hat that just looked a bit too spot on. Yeah. If it ain't the young couple, don't you both look lovely? Yeah. I suppose we might as well get this over with, seeing as you'll be wanting to elope and all. The space captain spoke with an amazingly perfect Maine accent.
So perfect. Yep, definitely. That was the word I was looking for.
Nova was immediately suspicious. Do I know you? The space captain had an eye patch, but he turned his face conspicuously to the side and winked with his covered eye. Seemed like you might be mistaking me for someone else. After all, we humans do all pretty much look alike, except when we have a beard or an eye patch or something like that. My name is Human Space Captain, and I am not at all suspicious. I agree, Brent said. Let's do this now, babe. Bing, bang, boom, thank you, Space God, now you're married, he said as he threw a handful of glitter into the air. The space captain had launched a surprise ceremony, and that was that. Nova and Brent were now married. Okay, whatever, Nova and Brent said simultaneously, sealing the deal. Nova grinned widely at Brent and said, Let's go on a honeymoon. Then we can come back and kill my dad. Brent was pretty stoked that everything was going pretty much according to plan, and figured it wouldn't hurt for their planned accident to happen when they got back, so he agreed. Yeah, bro, whatever, that's my vow to you. Whatever. Now and forever. The space captain tipped his hat and said, Lucky for you, I happen to moonlight as a cab driver. I'd be honored if you would let me escort you. Brent's entire face scrunched up in disgust. Ew. No, I have my own car.
His dad owns a dealership.
What is that from again?
Aqua Teens.
Oh, yeah.
This alien bros.
That, you know what? That's who Brent is. Same character. This is canon.
Does he have a tattoo on his lung because his dad would disapprove if he had gotten it outside?
Yep. Aqua Teen Hunger Force and this story happened in the same universe. Okay, well, I mean, hold on that. After I contact Georgia.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if that is actually the case.
All right.
Nova interjected. But we are eloping. We can't let anyone know we've gone. If we take your car, our parents will be immediately suspicious. The captain laughed. Excellent point, fair blonde girlie. You are as brilliant as you are beautiful. Where I come from, you would be appreciated for your beauty, but then scorned for your propensity for speaking your mind so freely. I am also human. The three-headed. So there's three of them, and they headed towards the space parking lot, down the hall, up the corridor, left the toilets, and below the gravity elevator. The captain had a poor sense of direction and spent like 10 minutes looking for his space cab. But eventually they found it. Nova called shotgun, and Brent sat in the back. Man, this place must be at least as confusing as a Walmart parking lot.
Where it's, just like a parking lot.
Which for some of us is extremely confusing.
Oh.
After they got in the car and got out of the parking hangar, Nova leaned over and whispered in the driver's ear, Iggy, where have you been? I'll tell you after we wrap this up. Can you help me kill this guy? He's planning to kill me and my dad. Oh, you were gonna kill him too? Wait, what? Why were you gonna kill him? I'm an assassin. Makes sense. What's the plan? I'm gonna drive him to the edge of the universe and then push him and the cab off the edge outside of space and time. What about me? You and I will swim back. Stop the fucking cab. Iggy hit the space brakes, pulled over to the side of the space road, and locked the doors. Brent leaned forward and asked, Hey guys, what's going on? Iggy and Nova ignored him. That is literally the dumbest plan I've ever heard, Nova said. That's like my thing. That's why they call me Iggy the Pusher 88. I thought your name was Human Space Captain, Brent said, confused, but was ignored again. Do you have a gun? No. You are literally the worst assassin ever. Assassin? Nova, bro, what's going on? Nova sighed. Brent, we're trying to kill you. Brent decided it would be better not to say anything in response. He also decided to shit himself. I mean, I know about your plan to kill me and my dad, so how about we all just decide not to kill each other and forget this whole thing happened? Yeah, and I'm really not a space captain, and my main accent was actually faked, so you guys aren't actually married. Brent shit himself again in disappointment. With all the shit in the back of the cab, it really began to smell bad. And then Iggy88 reached into his glove compartment, pulled out a bag of space weed, and began to hotbox the cab. Space weed smells better than earthweed, and it covered up the smell of Brent's poopy pants. I don't know why I wrote that whole paragraph.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely moves the story along, at least.
Hey, man, I didn't really want to kill you guys. My dad put me up to it. I'll go back and tell him not to kill you anymore. Just don't tell anyone about my conspiracy to commit murder or how I shit myself twice in the back of a cab. Iggy88 and Nova agreed that sounded fair enough and went back to Minerman Industries to drop off Brent Jr. Brent got out of the cab. Yeah, Brent Jr.
Yeah.
Brent got out of the cab, turned around and waved, but no one waved back. He thought about walking up to the cab window, knocking and saying bye, but then realized how weird that would be. He decided to just be okay with being ignored.
That's a safe bet.
He was walking away from a car where a literal assassin had just let him go. He resolved right then and there to be less awkward, less selfish, and less of a dick. Maybe he would become a better person. Iggy turned to Nova and suggested, "Hey, what do you say we get the old gang back together and try to stop Vin the Purple Pirate?" I don't know, Iggy. After what happened... That wasn't your fault, Nova. He's gone, and I agree it's impossible to really say that you had absolutely no hand in it, but in general, it's not your fault. Thanks, Iggy. But these past couple years, I've been drunk or high the whole time. Whenever I've been sober, I've done nothing but relive those last few moments over and over in my mind. Okay, well, the longer we talk about this, the less I'm really able to say it wasn't your fault. However, you couldn't have known what would happen when you did the thing you did that we're obviously not explicitly stating to each other. Yeah, at that time, the thing we did, the thing we didn't do, the things we couldn't do, all those things, I just keep thinking about them. Iggy had heard enough. Let's go see her. I'll be there with you to support you emotionally, because that's what human friends do for each other. You can still trust me? Iggy88 leaned over to the passenger seat and kissed Nova on the lips. Of course. I love you like a brother. Nova laughed as Iggy hit the gas and the two sped off to the place to do the thing. The end.
Oh, shit.
Wait, hold on a second. What's this post-credit scene? Brent walks into his room at Minerman Industries and immediately proceeds to the shower. He takes off his shirt and shit-covered pants, underwear, and socks. He pulls back the curtain to the shower, but then he shits his non-pants. Inside the bathtub is the murdered corpse of his father, Brent the Dick Sr.
Dun dun dun.
From behind Brent, a maniacal laughter can be heard. Brent decides that he would rather not face the killer in the nude, so he decides to put his shit-stained pants back on and steps out of the bathroom, making a squish with every step.
Oh, Jesus.
Mom? When you two are dead, I will gain complete control of the Dick's Dildo Emporium and Minerman Industries. Finally, my revenge against Eustace will be complete. Wait, Mom, bro, I didn't marry Nova, and so we didn't kill her dad either. Did you kill my dad? Oh, I may have jumped the gun a bit. Oh well. When is the wedding scheduled? We aren't getting married. She found out about the plan. If you aren't marrying that brat, then I have no need of you either. Brent's mom turns around and exits the room. The room door locks with a loud clink as gas begins to fill the room. Mom! How could you, Mom? Bro! The The camera pulls out, revealing one last shot of Meinerman Industries and New Earth 2 as Brent defecates loudly. The real end.
The ending was pretty good. I like that.
Thank you.
Not sure why his mom killed him, but is Eustace, is that her dad?
No, Eustace is Eustace Meinerman.
Yeah.
And so his dad is Brent the Dick Sr.
No, her dad is what I said.
Oh, Nova.
Nova's. Yeah. Okay.
Nova's dad. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we've got this new villain.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
For a minute I thought you were going to bring back Edith with the driving to the edge of the universe. And
yes, that was intentional. That was intentional. But thankfully, no.
No doubt.
No. Brent's dead. He's not becoming the new Edith.
Oh, well.
He got gassed.
Yeah. It shit himself a lot.
Yep. Alright. Well then, I'm gonna say that it is now your turn. Alright. Your story got a title?
Yep. It's, my story is called The Curse of the Plants.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's
I can... from that title, I already know completely what's going on. I can figure it out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, then you read it. Fuck you.
Yep. Alright. The Curse of the Plants. I have no idea.
It's actually a Harry Potter story now.
Please tell me. Harry Potter fanfic.
I just renamed all the characters. They'll never know. No.
Oh, God. Well then, lay on me this Harry Potter sci-fi fanfic.
I put on my robe and wizard hat. No. Oh man, I haven't seen that one in a long time. Shit. As we humans are just beginning to understand, lasers are not particularly efficient weapons.
Alright, getting right into it.
Yeah. Sure, they can be quite harmful, but less than the flashy bolts of color you see in your typical star, be it War or Trek, or Battle Galactica. But more in the slow, torturous way. The fear remains the same for most people, though, so if you're looking to create an imposing presence for your planet's new king or queen, you might be inclined to dress up your palace guard with big laser swords or rifles. This would be a mistake, as Hobbleplox would come to find out.
Oh, Hobbleplox.
Yep. Yes,
the queen and all the people on the planet.
With the... Yeah, yep. I think I have a little recap written into this story, so...
Nice.
I think, at least.
Okay. That's okay. If not, I've got you covered.
Alright. Her next mistake was abandoning Greg as advisor. He was undisturbed with ideas about upward mobility, so likely would never attempt to usurp control. And possibly more importantly, he'd been mindlessly devoted to her cause for years, though it only peripherally benefited him. But despite all of this, Hobbleplox had cast him down when he got her birthday wrong.
Oh.
What a bitch.
What a bitch. I mean, kings and queens are capricious.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You gotta watch your step.
You wanna define that word for your brother in case he listens to this? Now, Kyle,
it means
just,
like a
just
Capricorn.
Google it, Kyle. None of this really bothered Craig. He'd gotten in touch with Ralph initially when he feared for his life, but since he had realized that he was fine as long as he didn't see Hobbleplox, or, more accurately, she didn't see him. He tried to let Ralph know the danger had passed, but Ralph was nowhere to be found. Greg knew he hadn't liked the spotlight fame had thrown him, but really, hiding from your friends was a bit much, don't you think? There's a lot of fourth wall breaks in this story for some reason.
I mean, that's been... You and I both have different narrative styles.
Yeah. Yep. But this one, for some reason, I did it a bunch, and it started to get on my nerves when I was typing it out.
Well, I think that's the point of typing it up. You can edit some of that out.
Nope. No, I did edit it.
It is written.
I edited a couple of them out, actually. As we know, though, Ralph was not hiding. He was plotting. He hadn't gotten any of Greg's correspondence because he was secluded with the giant robots of Robotica 14.
Yeah.
Teaching them about their targets on the upcoming hunting expedition to Hadroxia. This had taken a little time just because the robots were prone to just destroy everything, and Ralph didn't want to be the sole survivor of his planet. Partly because he liked most of the people there, but mostly because he didn't want to spend the rest of his life running from the roving bands of curators looking to add him to their collections of rarities.
Oh, that is an excellent point in a sci-fi universe.
Yep. The training was all but completed, and they were about to make the trip to invade Hadroxia with the Paragon crew when Linda had a change of heart. Sorry guys, we need to tell the robots that they're going to war. We can't just use them to eliminate a portion of the population unwittingly. But this way they definitely won't say no. Besides, it's not like they're doing anything illegal, said Dombey. Yes, but she is right. We're supposed to be the lovable protagonists. We can't manipulate our similarly lovable giant death robot friends. It's not that kind of story, Bomble added.
No.
That was a mouthful of a sentence.
That was a fourth wall break, if I ever heard one.
Well, alright, but do we have a backup plan should they decide against it? Ralph asked. I have something, Linda offered. First, we'll enter the planet quietly, as tourists, and start spreading nasty rumors about the Hobbleploxes, and how they can't count, so you should hate them for their combined privilege and lack of education. Okay, said Belle. So, we are really just hoping these robots are okay with this then. Hey, what about their butler bots? Bomble asked. What about them? Well, you know how they're all douchebags, right? Well, what...
And some of them look like dinosaurs.
Yeah. One of them is a dinosaur. Well, what if we get them to take up positions with Hobbleplox and then poison her? Obviously, this decided it. There was some talk of making this their primary plan, but they still needed to talk to the parties involved. First, they made their way over to the robots' complex, where they were busy trying to convince the butlers to stand in as chess pieces. Well, it was actually checkers they were playing, but they told people it was chess to try and impress. The butlers weren't having it.
Like, imagine not.
Yeah. They had recently formed a union on the suggestion of Philip, the particularly clever dinosaur who had escaped the hunt by disguising himself as one of the Butler bots.
I knew it.
Even though he was twice as tall and lacked the manual dexterity to serve the afternoon tea.
Oh, that's a good use of the word manual.
Yeah. The giant robots liked the idea of hunting a new civilization, but there were concerns that they would simply decimate the entire population should they get overexcited or bored. The Butlers, on the other hand, were eager to show up the robots, and so accepted immediately. Well, fuck these guys, man. Philip had done well to learn language from the most vulgar people in the universe. But he was not sure when to and when not to use vulgarity, and therefore he just used it all the time.
Yeah, fucking always.
The idea of addressing people formally was still way beyond his abilities. We got this. Just poison all the annoying people. Try not to poison everyone else, even though they're probably also dicks. Well, yes, I suppose so. That seems to be the gist of it, but definitely try very hard not to poison anyone else. The virus we've synthesized can't possibly spread from person to person, so it will look like it is just targeting the Hobbleploxes, Linda explained. Nature finds a way. Philip loves Jurassic Park. He needs to stop doing this if he doesn't want to give away his secret.
What? It's a secret to love Jurassic Park?
No, it's a secret that he's a dinosaur. Hey, wait a second. Why don't you look like the other Butlers? Dombey was pretty dumb, but he was the only one that hadn't already put together the secret. They all ignored him and moved on. Later that week.
Oh.
Oh, time jump. So that I didn't, because I was already making it too long and I knew it.
I don't care. I don't want to see him driving and shit. Just get going. I had a teleporter in mind.
Yeah. Excuse me, Miss Hobbleplox, but your new butlers have arrived. And if I do say so, they are particularly rude, just as you wished. Marble was the same clone source as Greg, because Hobbleplox wanted people to think she kept him around for popular opinion's sake. But Marble was dim-witted and arrogant, a dangerous combination if this were Game of Thrones.
Or real life, or a story.
Yep. No.
Generally not good.
Excellent. I don't want any visiting dignitaries to get any ideas of sticking around too long. Bring them in. What, all of them? Oh, you fucking idiot. Whoever their union leaders are, and one to be my personal butler. Right away, miss. Hopefully these guys are better than that dumbass. Now, yeah.
She said to herself.
Essentially, yes. Now, this section is about to become quite vulgar. If you're not a fan of base language, then fuck off. Butlers unceremoniously burst in. Yeah, shut the fuck up, guy, said Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Yeah, go play an antiquated game based on taking other people's little glass balls if you're a more capable player than them, you cunt.
What? Because his name is Marble. Okay.
Philip is still working out the kinks on his succinct insults. Yeah,
I like
and
it,
now
though.
I need to stop laughing at my own joke. Hang on. Welcome. I think we will get along swimmingly. The butlers looked at each other and grinned. Well, Phil grinned, and Rudolph failed to grin, giving off more of an air of self-satisfaction while his features remained more or less stationary. So what the fuck do you want us to do around here? Aside from dispensing morning after pills and gag orders for concubines. Well, first of all, I mostly want you to harass any visitors with constant abusive questioning. Then, just generally keep shit clean, make sure that liquor is flowing, along with said Plan Bs and gag orders.
Okay, yeah.
And so we come to the unforeseen issue that the Paragon crew and Ralph failed to foresee. The butlers and Hobbleplucks were made for each other. Foul-mouthed, violent, and scheming. It was a perfect fit. So, Philip sent a message to Linda, and it read as follows. Dear Dickbag, this lady is awesome. Fuck you for wanting to kill her. We're staying and taking up the mantle of bodyguards. I mean, look at these awesome laser swords. Fuck you again. Goodbye forever. Philip. See attached. And attached was a picture of him holding a big orange laser sword. Yep. P.S. I was secretly a dinosaur that those big lumbering morons couldn't tell. I was hidden amongst their butlers. This was followed by a crude drawing, which I won't go into details of.
Okay. I hope it's a dinosaur dick.
I mean, it might be.
Okay.
Well, shit. I guess it's time for Plan B, which was originally Plan A, and you guys talked me out of. They'll, as usual, like to look on the negative side of things. Yeah, Plan B that was Plan A is better than Plan A anyways. Dombey was just looking forward to seeing the giant robots in action. Meanwhile, back at Hobbleplux's throne room, it was probably best that she liked a dimly lit room, because the butler bots were shit at basic maintenance, so they turned off all the lights so they would never have to change the bulbs. And they spent most of their time trying to find increasingly dangerous ways of cleaning with their laser swords. They were happy to have been made guards, but they also missed doing a shitty job cleaning up after people, generally waiting on their needs to get so out of hand that someone else took care of it. Now, you should know, the butlers didn't tell Hobbleplucks of the ensuing invasion, because she didn't ask, so fuck her. Probably didn't even know their previous bosses were part of a vendetta against her, that dumb bitch. Greg, on the outside of all of this, was busy working on a new project. He had never bothered to go back to his assigned work as corporate manager. The project he was working on was a small do-it-yourself spaceship that, if built correctly, would get him anywhere he wanted to go. And maybe he could sign on with a band of smugglers when he proves his engineering skills, which he now has. The ship was very nearly completed. He just needed to seal a leak in the baggage compartment and, of course, paint Go Faster stripes on the side. Ralph would be proud of this venture, and Greg still was always striving for that approval and lacked the self-awareness to doubt his assertion. There was a loud bang outside, then a soft knock at the door. Oh. Yeah. The robots had landed and immediately disabled all of the planet's defensive system. At 300 millennia old, while they had never been activated, they did have a lot of practice and training on how to make the splashiest and most effective introductions. However, as they say, the best laid plans of mice and giant world-destroying robots. The plan was to show up and threaten Hobbleplox for a little while and sneak Greg off the planet. The robots were to be dispersed evenly to provide maximum threat to the essentially non-existent Hedroxian defenses. They had chosen landing spots near cities to make their presence immediately and dramatically felt. However, due to having a map upside down, they all landed in the middle of a field about 300 miles from the capital city, and one of them had accidentally collapsed a hut on top of its owner.
Oh.
Don't feel bad, though. He was kind of a dick.
Oh.
Yeah. Then, as they made their way to the periphery of the city, Ralph, Foxana, Linda, and Thel snuck into the Greenlight district, the last place Greg was known to be staying. Apparently. The Greenlight district being the place that most of the planet's free-thinking vegetation gathered to do the disgusting things that plants typically get up to in their downtime. We should check the cafes first. Greg always spent way too much time in the cafes. He never quite understood the concept. Foxana, you should lead the way. They're suspicious of strangers around these parts. This was Ralph's plan. Though he had explained it thoroughly long before they landed, he felt comforted by repeating it now in case anyone had missed it. Alright, but I'm only a quarter plant. I don't know how they will take to me, said Foxana. And so they went forth, into the disgustingly lush vegetation of the Greenlight district. Well, shit, I did it again. I was planning on having cold as the way I resolved this episode, but it's gone on too long now as it is. I'll have the resolution to this story as well as an extra prompt next time.
All right.
Yep.
Well, then I think I can see where that's going.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't exactly trying to hide it.
No. But of course, I don't know how we'll get there. So I'm excited to hear about the dangers of the Greenlight District with their free-thinking ways.
Yep.
And disgusting habits.
Yeah.
Those green hippies.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be ideal, assuming I actually wrote about that. I don't quite remember at this point.
Anyway, I actually liked this story a lot. I think because you had a lot of like plot and world building that some of your other stories didn't have.
Yeah, it's getting to the point with this story arc that I don't know, I've been replacing a lot of the like character setup with
right.
like implementation of the characters. So
yeah. And I think I'm finally starting to get a hang on who some of these characters are. Right?
Well, mostly because I got rid of a lot of the ones that were confusing you.
Yeah.
Except Dompy.
Because they're also doing stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing stuff that's in character, so
yeah.
That's really cool. I like that. And so it made me excited to hear about these characters.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take a break from them after the next story, but...
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think...
I'll come back to them eventually,
I don't mean,
I'm sure, but... Or some of
I don't mean just to say, like, yours are getting better. I'm just saying that, like, I think both of us are... starting to figure out how to write stories. So,
or at least write with the same characters consistently and repeatedly.
Well, that's one aspect of it.
Yeah.
But This episode has gone on for a bit, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we gotta wrap things up. But before we go, we're gonna go over the prompts for next time.
Yes.
Which, again, we've already shared with each other. So they were not especially planned to work well together or anything.
No, we share them with each other at the same time, essentially.
Yep. So, for our next story, I gave you the prompt of Conquerors.
And I gave you the prompt of Cryosleep.
Right. So, check us out.
Yeah.
Next time when we do Conquerors and Cryosleep, which actually might work much better together than Cold and Lasers.
Yeah. Cold was a little bit vague.
So, check us out next time. As always, you can listen to these stories both on YouTube at Basically Sci-Fi or on SoundCloud, where we have the latest episodes available to listen to. Yep. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter for the updates on when stories will be coming out.
That'd be good.
Yep. So, all right. Thank you specifically very much for listening. And we will see you next time.
Yeah, see you then.